Hi there, this is Cliff Ravenscraft from podcastanswerman.com, and right now I want to help you take a look at the power of podcasting for your business. Now, oftentimes when I work with business owners, I always get some kind of question that has to do something about show me the numbers. Well, let's take a look at some numbers that I think might give you a little bit of a twist on my view of podcasting. Now, here's a pretty impressive number. This is 37 million. What does that number stand for? It's the number of people inside of the U.S. who possess a gym or fitness club membership. Why is that important, you might ask? Well, let's take another look at another very important number, and that is 97 million. Now, 97 million happens to be the number of people who actually drive to work alone in their car each and every day. 97 million. 37 million. Do you know what? Those are some pretty impressive numbers. Did you know that the average commute to work for the person in the U.S. driving to and from work is 26.4 minutes? 26.4. Another important number. Well, there's another number I'd like to tell you about, and it's 50 million. Guess what that number represents? Well, my friends, that's the number of iPhones that have been sold through April 8th, 2010. How about this number? 275 million. Well, that is the number of iPods sold through September of 2010. Wow. What are all these people listening to, do you think? The answer is they should be listening to you. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of an audio sample of just some of the things people are listening to. Just close your eyes, open your ears, and listen to this.
Hey, good morning and welcome to episode 27 of Connie and Sheila Talk. We are coming to you from our Thinking Rock studio in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm Connie Williams.
And I'm Sheila Tidwell.
We talk real life, real estate, real fun. And we appreciate you so much tuning in today. We know you.
Hi everybody, it's Joe Lample, and welcome to Growing the Greener World. Well, if you love to garden and spend time outdoors and really care about environmental stewardship, you've come to the right place. Well, lately I've been involved in a new project.
And welcome back to another exciting information-packed episode of Spinal Column Radio. My name is Dr. Thomas Lamar, chiropractor and dad of 6. And this is the podcast that gets you to think about your health in a whole new way. We're the podcast for your backbone, the podcast with backbone. Who knew that spinal education could be this much fun?
Welcome to Stay Happily Married.
Happily married.
Your source for weekly updates on the latest tips and advice to build a happy and healthy marriage.
Today's episode of Stay Happily Married is brought to you by the Rosen Law Firm. For more information, visit us at rosen.com.
Well, my friends, that is just a sampling of businesses that are podcasting. That's right, reaching millions and millions of people while they're driving to and from work, reaching millions of people while they're running on the treadmill and going out for a jog through their neighborhood, walking their dogs. There's so many people out there with iPods, iPhones, we didn't even talk about the millions of people who have something that can play MP3 files that's not an Apple-related product. These folks should be listening to you. Now, what is a podcast? A podcast is a series of digital media files which are distributed over the internet using syndication feeds for playback on portable media players and computers. You know what? That terminology is just a little bit, over the top, maybe for a lot of people. Let's forget about that for just a moment and ask the bigger question. What's so exciting about podcasting? Well, here's what you need to worry about. You get to listen to what you want. Now, how many times have you turned on your car radio, whether it be the AM dial, FM dial, it just doesn't matter. But when was the last time you heard a chiropractor talking about things related to physical health? When was the last time you heard real estate investors? Well, maybe you have heard that one on the radio. But anyway, the idea here is that the program director of a radio station does not get to determine whether or not you have the opportunity to speak to your potential audience. Folks, not only do people get to listen to what they want, they don't have to actually turn on the radio and be limited to just a couple stations on the dial. No, they can go into iTunes or various other places and subscribe to your content. And if your content is what they want to listen to, you can deliver it to them. You do not need to get permission from a program director of a radio station. So what's exciting for your audience is that they get to choose what they want to listen to, what they want. All right. The other one is you get to listen to it wherever you want. All right. You can listen to it in the car. You can, if let's just say you're driving to work and you work downtown and you've got a 26.4 minute commute to your parking spot, but then you've got another 8-minute walk. Well, guess what? If somebody's listening to your podcast, that 8 minutes between the car and their place of employment, that's another 8 minutes they can consume your content. They can take it with them. They're not tied to a computer. They're not tied to a car radio. They are mobile. They can listen to it at the beach. They can listen to it anywhere. I love that you can listen to what you want, where you want. But get this. Not only that, but you can listen to it when you want. How many times have you gone out there and found something you were listening to on the radio, this talk radio program, and they said, hey, after the break, we're going to talk about this. And you're so excited, and they come back a couple more times, and they always push that off into the final segment because they want to keep you there for that most important thing. And by golly, you just pulled up in front of your client's house or your client's place of business. You walk out the door and you don't get to listen to the rest of it. Can you go back and listen to it? No, you miss it because it's not podcasted. It's not available for you to download and take with you. You can't pause it. Live radio, it just stinks. It does. Podcasting, your audience can listen to what they want, where they want, when they want to listen to it. This is what's so exciting about podcasting. And my friends, listen to this. People subscribe to your content for free. It doesn't cost them anything. It just simply gets delivered right to their computer automatically. Sort of like in the old days when people used to subscribe to these things called newspapers. Only, wait, didn't they have to pay for those? Another benefit of podcasting maybe. Anyway, you're probably saying to yourself, free? Well, wait a second. This is the power of podcasting for my business. How do I make money with my podcast if people are getting it for free? Well, my friends, this is where we talk about the mating ritual of the bowerbird. Thanks to my good friend David Dell for pointing this one out to me. Anyway, this nest that you see in this picture, the little bits of straw that are forked in two different directions. Well, there's a little tiny place in between there. This is a nest of a bowerbird. In fact, that nest is called a bower. All right. Now, what is this nest? It's built by the male bowerbird. Now, what is this nest for? Well, since this is a family-friendly website, let's just say that the male bowerbird will build this nest to kind of, let's say, close the deal with the female bowerbird that might come along. You get the point, right? So now you may notice that this nest is not the only thing that kind of attracts your attention here. In fact, you may see all kinds of little blue trinkets all over the place. Well, this is the part of the mating ritual of the bowerbird. This specific bowerbird happens to love blue trinkets, and it will fly all over the place just to find blue trinkets and bring them and surround those blue attractive objects all around the nest. Now, the thing is these blue objects are there to attract the attention of female bowerbirds. And female bowerbirds are attracted to this color blue. They come and they check out the trinkets. The male bowerbird comes out to them, and they get to know one another. They start to build and form a relationship with one another. And it's a safe environment. It's not like, hey, come back to my bower. They get to know one another, build a relationship, and it's very possible that some of those female bowerbirds may actually come back to the bower to transact a transaction, okay? So you get the idea here. I want to tell you this. Your podcast is not your bower, all right? Your podcast is just one of the many blue trinkets that you put out there that is a place for you to, number one, establish and then build a meaningful relationship of trust and influence with your audience, with your customers, and with your potential customers. Your podcast is not a bower. Your podcast is a trinket. It is a shiny object that attracts attention and gets people to where they can come and comfortably get to know who you are and what you have to offer in a very relational way. This, my friends, is very powerful information to know. Now, let me tell you about an email that I get at least once a week and sometimes as many as 15 times a week. And it always starts off like this. Hey, I found you while I was searching on Google. I listened to your podcast or let me just say a little variation is, I listened to about 15 of your podcast episodes and I definitely know for a fact that I want to hire you. When can I get on your schedule? Can I please get on your schedule? I mean, it's over and over again. My number one marketing tool is my podcast. People find me on Google, they listen, and I provide valuable, high-quality content, always giving stuff away for free, and it always leads to relationships of trust where these people know that I have something to offer. And when I do offer things that I have available for sale, whether it be my one-on-one consulting, a video training tutorial, whatever the case may be, they are ready to buy from me because they know me, they trust me, and again, the podcast, it's not my bower. My bower are the products and services that I offer to my clients. The podcast is a way for me to extend myself to a very large audience. Well, the entire world, really, and let them get to know who I am by listening to hours. And if you go to podcastanswerman.com, hundreds of hours of me giving you valuable free advice. Yes. But you might say, I already have a blog. Well, let's talk about the power of the spoken word. My friends, speaking is so different from just written words. You can probably tell just by listening to this that I'm extremely passionate about podcasting. I am extremely passionate, and you can tell that there's excitement in my voice, and you can tell when I'm really concerned about something, and so there's the inflection of voice. And now you don't have the body language right here, but you have so much. And not only that, but most people who listen to me, they listen with earbuds stuck inside their ears. You talk about a very personal form of communication. They're listening to Cliff Ravenscraft on a regular basis in stereo, hours a week. The power of podcasting, my friends. Of course, I want to let you know the power of podcasting for me personally is how I actually used to have a career in insurance for 11 years in a family-run insurance agency. It was in the family business since 1935, and I was scheduled to take over the insurance agency. I was making $87,000 a year, living very comfortably, but I hated my job. I started podcasting as a hobby about the TV show Lost. In fact, do me a favor. Just go to Wikipedia. Seriously, just go to Wikipedia and type in Cliff Ravenscraft. That's right. Just go to Wikipedia. Type in Cliff Ravenscraft. You can read the rest of the story there. And, my friends, that is the power of podcasting for your business. Hey, you can find me on Twitter at GSPN, or you can find me on over at podcastanswerman.com. If you're ever interested in learning about podcasting and doing it with excellence and sounding great and building your brand online, I would love to consult with you one-on-one. Just get in touch with me. You'll find my email address somewhere on the site. I promise you that. Cliff Ravenscraft, podcastanswerman.com. And this, my friends, has been the power of podcasting for your business.